Hello, Philadelphia! I'm Bruce Buffer. It's time for the Anthony Gorgano Show!
It's time to see a grown man weep, is what it is. I would say good morning to you, but it's not a good morning. So I will just wish you the best personally. This is the Anthony Gargano Show, and we're presented by TrueMark Financial Credit Union. Check out TrueMark.com/PHLY or stop into your local branch to learn more about the credit union difference at TrueMark today. Well, there are losses that stand out. Losses that make no sense. Losses that leave you speechless. Losses made of acid that melt your spirit and your insides. We've been through it, right? Kawhi Leonard, triple doink, a clear path to an NBA title, only to see it being snatched away, along with Jimmy Butler leaving. And then, of course, who could forget Father's Day? Yes, Father's Day. And Ben Simmons ruining your day by passing up a dunk, and the Sixers inexplicably losing to the Atlanta Hawks. Who could forget that? And while we're at it, let's go back to Game 6. Sixers about to close the series against Boston. Celtics infighting, Celtics about to melt under the moment, but the Sixers couldn't put them away. No, not with James Harden. No. And the Sixers watch Jason Tatum, who was 2 for 1,000, get hot and win the game. And, of course, we know what happened in Game 7. Yes, the Sixers are marvelous at ripping out our hearts. The Sixers have perfected self-flagellation. Each loss is unique in its own right. And the plot, as imaginative as a freaking Wes Craven screenplay. They have mastered horror. Have you seen anything like last night? Last night, up 5, should have been 6, 47 seconds to go in a game. The freaking game is in your hands. The Garden was silent. The game, despite all of the warts in that game, was yours. All it needed was a little care. And it all starts with Jalen Brunson and playing Kawhi with a front rim 3 that somehow went in. I still am looking at the trajectory. Like, I think it's a Buffalo Wild Wings commercial where all of a sudden somebody pressed a button because they want the freaking Knicks and Boston to play because that's a stupid league. And they pressed a button and the ball magnetically fell through the rim into the basket. And then after that, we know what transpired. What in the world are you doing? Like, what possibly? First of all, I understand Nick Nurse said it last night to open his news conference, that he called timeout repeatedly, that he looked right at the ref, and the ref did not grant him the timeout. And he called it at different sequences. When he looked like Maxey had the basketball, had possession off the inbounds, he called timeout, timeout, timeout. There was a timeout right before Lowry inbounded the ball. Nothing. Crickets. Now, he had been penalized for running onto the court and calling timeout. So he stayed there, and you could see him. And I watched the highlight 50 freaking times of him going like this, timeout, timeout. But in the end, it's his fault because he should have called timeout before the possession. I understand that he wanted to get Maxey the basketball, and sometimes a quick inbounds can get the ball into Maxey's hands for the free throws. But unfortunately, Nick, you can't screw around like that. If you advance the basketball, you get it out of your end, and you got the whole court to work with. I mean, you should have called timeout there. I was yelling timeout right after. I get what he's thinking, so I get it. Quick inbounds, but then it's not there. And then Kyle Lowry. So, and I love his heart, and God bless him. And even though I hate the word heart, HART, but even though, and I love him, he gutted it out. But dude, you missed 2 big free throws, and you got to call timeout. Once you see Maxey being doubled, you got to call timeout. Kyle, you can call timeout. What are you thinking? That was freaking Chris Webber. Dude, call the timeout. If you don't have it, instead of lobbing up an inbounds pass, that would look like a freaking Kevin Cobb pass that was going to be intercepted. My God. And then mayhem, right? Mayhem. DiVincenzo somehow misses the first attempt. And then there's the basketball. And then I'm looking and I see Joel and freaking Tobias Harris, who the ghost of all ghosts. And the only person he haunts is us. And he can't, they look at each other, and Frankenstein gets the rebound, all right? And that's what it was. It was monsters at the Garden. We were tortured last night. That freaking Hartenstein, are you kidding me? Hartenstein gets that rebound? Joel, and I love him, all right? And I listen, I'm not blaming anything on him, and I'll argue all day long because all they had were Embiid and Maxey. But dude, you didn't have a rebound in the second half. That's the moment you got to get that board. That's the moment you got to be Godzilla on the glass. You have to get that board. And what happened? Frankenstein gets the board, kicks it back out to DiVincenzo, money. And then you're looking up going, what? What just happened? Now, I don't know what I'm most incensed about. So the fact that they just obviously aren't tough enough mentally to finish a game like that. And the fact is, I just went through the post-process losses, and there's one after another. And now, I don't know, is it DNA? That's what you have to ask that question. Because it was Brett Brown. It was Brett, Brett was there to only get them so far. Oh, Doc Rivers. Oh, it's Doc, right? Doc loses games like that. Oh, Doc wasn't coaching last night. Doc's in Milwaukee. And they lost that game. And they melted. That's the thing that was so frightening, is that the crowd, the moment, the stage, all of New York, and they just wilted in a game that they had. Now, do I think the series is over? I don't. I know people go outside, they're cooked, it's over, it's done. And I'm still one of these people that, let's see, you defend the home court. But here's what's so grim. And here's where I was completely wrong and misguided. I thought that someone else would step up besides Joel and Tyrese. I thought they would get contributions from the role players. Are you kidding me? I mean, role players. Look at them. Tobias Harris, ghost. Kelly Oubre, weak. Buddy Hield, weak. I mean, you got nothing from those three guys. Nothing. I mean, that's inexcusable. You can't win with two guys. You can't win. They lucked out and had Lowry, who was in double figures. That's it. And here's the killer of all killers. All right, the killer of all killers is that you look at this team, this Knicks team. They're not very good, but you know what they are? They're gritty, and they're tough, and they're tough-minded, and that's how they won. Jalen Brunson is 8 for 500 in this series. He can't do anything other than the magnetic three-point shot to get them within two. I mean, they have shut him down. But all of a sudden, Josh Hart is Reggie Miller. And worse, Josh Hart snatching the ball, just taking it from you. And they know it is. Where are you guys at when Josh Hart is doing that? And whether it's DiVincenzo or Hartenstein or Deuces McBride, I mean, are you kidding me? You're losing to that group? Wow. That is just difficult. That is just torturous. And then you throw in the refs, who were obviously abysmal. I mean, I can't blame the ref. I want to call it the Lufthansa heist because every call went the Knicks' way. It was a joke. And say whatever you want, and whether the Maxey had possession or not, Nurse is calling timeout constantly. You see it. You got to give him the timeout. You got to give him the timeout. And the calls were just embarrassingly bad and completely one-sided. But I can't even go that route because Sixers didn't deserve to win. They couldn't protect a 5-point, should have been 6-point lead. They couldn't protect it. And that is the crux of the problem. They have to find will. That's what's been missing. Run after run, spring after spring. The idea of gutting out big wins, tough wins. The playoffs are not for faint of heart. The playoffs are when the NBA is good. I'll tell you one thing. I hate them, okay? Completely hate them. The Knicks, the fans, the Garden. But I respect the hell out of them. Because you know why? They play with big stones, man. They play with stones, and they are unafraid of the moment. And that's been the issue with this team. How inventive can you be in losing? I can't believe it. I can't believe I'm jealous of the creativity in which they lose. I can't believe it. That's popping off. Brought to you by Olipop. Check out the 2 new flavors at Wawa. You'll love it. Soda, that's good for you. JP. Hello.
What's up, cuz?
What's up?
Yeah, that's how I feel right now. I'm just so
I'm just
somber
checking
today.
for legs because we might have legs, and that's what I'm doing right now. Legs. We were texting last night.
Does he have
We're
legs
trying
for
to
the
figure
Sixers
out.
too, or?
No, I said I'm speechless, and he goes, "You should be."
Yeah. I mean, where do you want to begin? You want to begin with Josh Hart looking like Klay Thompson in his prime? You want to look at some of the players, the role players?
Dude,
we thought were better than the Knicks role players.
No sense, right? It's Embiid and Maxey and just nobody else.
Nobody.
Nobody else. Go back. You know how bad it was? Go back to when Embiid is out in the third quarter. All right? So Nurse gets him. I actually loved how Nurse played his rotation, right? So he gets him out. The possessions that they had were unbelievably bad. Like, they were 35 feet from the basket. They had no shot. Did you see where they were running those plays?
Oh, yeah.
Not one guy steps up. Nobody. Freaking Tobias Harris, Kelly Oubre. Nobody steps up. They couldn't even run a decent possession. You got Maxey heaving it up from almost half court. What is that? What is that, JP?
That's Sixers basketball, cuz. That's literally Sixers basketball over the past couple of years. I mean, like, even like Tobias Harris, like in this, I don't want to kill his game completely because he did step up in rebounds. He did do a good job on Jalen Brunson, but when the moments when it matters the most.
I don't want to hear about, hey, they shut down Jalen Brunson, because you still got to play offense. You still got to score the basketball.
Yeah.
Like, no, I know you're not doing that. I can't take myself there. I just can't believe the ineptitude of the rest of this team. I'm stunned.
We could have been.
I'm sorry. I flush them all right now. I don't want anybody back.
I'm with
other
you.
than Embiid and Maxey.
We should be talking about Maxey's flu game right now.
Yeah,
because that was such a great.
I had it in there.
It
flu
was
game.
An inspiring performance by Tyrese Maxey. You see him in the fourth quarter, and like he was running out of gas too. And this kid found another gear yet again. And somehow, some way, the rest of the players can't find that other gear. Kelly Oubre with
gear?
4 points.
So they're like, I'm not even asking for a gear. I'm asking that you just run, like, show up.
But you
like, show up.
But in all honesty, to advance in the playoffs, to be one of those teams, cause you need balls. Like, to be quite honest, you need balls. I mean, how many of these guys do you really think have balls besides Maxey and Embiid? I mean, like Kyle Lowry looked good in game one.
Listen,
he missed a key free throw.
The 38-year-old. I'm not going to do it. The only thing where he screws up two places. One, dude, you got to make the free throw. All right, you got to go up 6. Like, being up 6 is just mentally, devastating on the other team. The 5, like, these numbers,
it was like 40
play
seconds
into your mind, right? Like, so you got to hit both free throws. All right, you got it. You just got to. And then once you see Maxey's covered, you got to call timeout. Timeout. Like, you're a veteran, and I love Lowry, so I'm not blaming him. But dude, timeout. Like, this is what you do. You're a seasoned, smart veteran. You gotta call timeout in that spot, and then you advance the ball to midcourt.
I agree, but there's one thing that did bother me with Nick Nurse's comments at the end of the game, because I do agree. Lowry, Maxey, somebody call timeout in that situation. But Nick Nurse says in the press conference where he was like, I wouldn't run out into the court and call that timeout, which I understand the rules. But did you see Tom Thibodeau for most of the game? This man's literally living on the court, trying to communicate with his players. And we're talking about the closing seconds of the game.
I know.
You need that timeout. I don't care what you do. Get in that rest space and go like this.
Like, I still think, and I understand the mentality of, like, let me get a quick inbounds to Maxey for the free throws. But you got to call. I call timeout. Like, I was saying, like, I was going to call time, advance the ball, and then go, because then you have the whole court to work with. I mean, I'm sure you got to play to get Maxey or Embiid free for the inbound instead of causing chaos. Like, that's just dumb basketball. Like, what transpired at the end of that, and then the rebound. Like, dude, Embiid and Harris are standing there, and the ball, and they let freaking Frankenstein get the board. Like, seriously,
I have to laugh, because like I can't believe it. I just can't believe like that. That's how we ended that game. And like, how many times in these last 6 years we've had situations like that? You mentioned at the top of the monologue. Like, how many playoff losses where you blow a lead or you can't close out a freaking game? It's frustrating.
See, the thing is, JP, I can believe
There's
it
Andrew.
because it's happened every year with this team.
Well, that's what we were saying.
And it is just remarkable how the consistency for them losing and getting these dagger loss games, it's terrible. And I'm sorry, I'm going to be the person who's going to bring up the elephant in the room.
I'm glad you are.
Embiid's knee. I know he played well last night, but do you really think that there's a run that man's going to be able to put on this season?
Well, forget about
this
that.
year?
Andrew, forget about that. Let's worry about the clubhouse. Well, you can come on during the clubhouse. All right?
Yeah.
Calm down.
Sorry, I'm heated.
I know you are. Listen, he's got to get a rebound in the second half. All right? Like, I get it. I completely get it. I can't find myself because I know a lot of people automatically are giving Embiid the blame, and I can't do it.
Yeah.
Because here's why I can't do it. One, I mean, the guy shows up, right? What do you have, 20 in the second half, 18 in the second half? Like, like I'm with you on the rebound on that last play, getting that board. Did you see when he's off the floor? Like, they have no chance when he's off the floor. I brought up those possessions at the end of the third quarter for a reason, because their offense can't function. They get bullied, pushed out, and they're running like dribble handoffs or, 5 out. They're running their 5-out offense 35 feet from the basket. You saw how many of those threes at the end of the in the end of the third quarter with Embiid on the bench did Maxey just jack up out of desperation just to find a look to get some space? Like, that's not offense. And that's because Embiid wasn't in the game. So I can't, Andrew, blame Embiid. And, that's not the elephant in the room for me. The elephant in the room for me is this happens over and over and over and over and over again. And it's in a different fashion. It's a different script. And that's what's so disconcerting. Now, I'm not even thinking about, do they have the moxie for a run? I mean, clearly, no. I mean, judging by the first 2 games, it's hard. Now, I have to, and I'm going to say it all morning long. I'm frustrated. I'm emotional, right? I'm just like you. But I'm not going to say it's over, right? I'm not going to do it because I don't think the Knicks are very good. I really don't. Now, I think you got to come home and you got to man up and defend your home court. Now, if you lose one of the games, it is what it is, right? And this is your last wake-up call. Tobias Harris, Kelly Oubre, Buddy Hield. Like, this is it. Like, you got to get some sort of contribution from somebody else. The Knicks had all 5 starters in double figures. And then McBride had 9. and then you're relying on Maxey and Embiid to do everything. Well, that recipe you can't have a deep run with 2 guys carrying all that. You knew that they had to carry the lion's share of the load, but not everything, JP.
It's so funny you say that because we only scored 7 points from starters that weren't named Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey.
Yeah.
7 points.
And then you look around and there's just nobody.
Nobody.
Like, I see, oh, wait. Oh, hi, Tobias. Tobias is standing right there. You can't see him because he's a ghost. All right. Oubre. I mean, you want to talk about? It's a shame. Like,
talk about how fearless he was too. What's happened to him?
Right.
Oh my God.
I thought he was Ranger Suarez. Right. Like, he had that Ranger Suarez. I don't really give a bleep attitude.
Yeah.
Right. But he's Ranger Danger. Right. Like, are you kidding me? I mean, seriously. Like, they get nothing from anyone else.
Yeah, and he's trying to. I see him like trying to drive to the basket with 3 guys on him. It's like, just find the easy pass, make a smart play.
It's bad basketball. Like, it's just not.
There's
good
no
basketball.
IQ on this team besides Maxey and Embiid.
No, it's bad basketball. I mean, it just is. So it's just a shame because of how the whole thing. Look, I give the Knicks deserve to be up 2-0, right? They deserve it because they're the ones that play with moxie against Maxey. They play with moxie down the stretch. Like, seriously, they have completely shut down Jalen Brunson. Sixers completely shut him down. Shut him down.
Everybody stepped up on the Knicks, not named Jalen Brunson. Everybody.
They get I mean, Josh Hart, are you kidding me?
Oh, that is so insane. Like, how is this man all of a sudden shooting like
He's
Clay?
Reggie Miller.
How does that happen?
I mean, he had that one stretch in the third where he ducks under and bangs the three. And then DiVincenzo last night, right? It was McBride in game one, and it was Mitchell Robinson in game one. And last night, it was DiVincenzo and Frankenstein.
Yeah. Frankenstein came up big on the board.
Right? Where's the Wolf Man?
Oh, man.
Seriously. I mean, this is what it is. And then the crowd is freaking out, and the refs are horrible. I mean, you want to talk about just a nightmare horror, American horror story. That's what Madison Square Garden has become.
Because they quiet that crowd twice in that game at least.
But the game's over. In the end, right? Laying all this stuff out. In the end, they should have won the game. You're up 5. Game's over. Game over.
Close
game
that.
over. Like, of all the nobody else contributing, all that stuff. The game's over. Knock down some free throws and go home. What? Oh, God. All right. I apologize.
We thank you guys. We thank you for tuning in with
Well,
us.
it's, listen, it's therapeutic, right? Like, This is why we're here. This is what we do. Like, we're used to this sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
All right. You want to talk about Olipop, my brother?
Let's do it, man. Let's talk a little bit about Olipop, something that can put a smile on your face. Absolutely. Olipop, what is it, guys? It is the world's first functional soda with a classic soda taste and the benefits of plant-based fiber, prebiotics, and other botanical ingredients to support gut health. And Olipop is a new kind of soda with only 2 to 5 grams of sugar and 9 grams of fiber per can. And Olipop is available online in almost 30,000 retailers nationwide, including the most recent launch at all Wawa stores. That's right. They are available right now at Wawa, ladies and gentlemen. What better way right now to get the Wawa, get it right now in Wawa. And of course, you can also get it at Wegmans, Sprouts, Target, you name it. It's available in different retailers. And the best part about it, guys, it's a soda that is healthy for you and it tastes fantastic. You can use it for, of course, with Cuz's root beer float that he always talks about. You can use it with the alcoholic beverage. That's the best part about it as well. And right now, if you want, you don't have to go to the store. You can order it online at drinkolipop.com. Use the promo code PHLY20 for 20% off the next Olipop order. And like I said, you can go to any of the retailers that we mentioned as well. But better yet, you can get it delivered right to your house. So again, use that promo code PHLY20. And thank you to our friends over at Olipop.
All right, coming up on the show, we're going to talk to Devon, right? We'll talk. Oh man, I needed Devon for some therapy today. Devon Givens, we love, from our PHLY Sixer show. And then coming up at top of the hour, 10 o'clock, the Trotters. My dear friend Jeremiah Trotter Sr. and his son, Jeremiah Trotter Jr., are going to join us coming up straight up around 10 o'clock to talk draft for Junior. You want to feel old. Trot and I were texting today. I'm like, dude, you used to bring Junior to our show Trot and I used to do a show Monday night, and he brought Junior to the show. I mean, and now he's getting drafted. God bless him. I love it. Love the Trotters. It's draft time. And then so Baldy and I are going to break it down. We got a big mock draft tomorrow. And it's the Meat Locker mock draft. And of course, any Meat Locker needs a butcher box. Yeah, baby. Butcher box. I'm pumped up to tell you about Butcher Box. All right? This is the greatest. You want to talk about the meats and great cuts of meats? Get to know Butcher Box. That's right. Easily find high-quality meat and seafood you can trust. 100% grass-fed beef, free-range organic chicken, pork-raised, crate-free, and wild-caught seafood. All right? It's awesome. Humanely raised, no antibiotics, no added hormones. This is what we need. We need the Butcher Box delivered right to your doorstep. Free shipping, always. Curated, customized box plans, man. A variety of high-quality cuts at an amazing value. You got recipes, too. I mean, this is unbelievable. I cannot wait. In fact, we just did our first order, like my Anthony and Massimo, because they're two carnivores, and they're young meat locker boys, and they can't wait for the Butcher Box to come. Check it out. Butcher Box offering our listeners an amazing offer. You get free meat plus $20 off your first box. Join us today. Use the link. Ready? butcherbox.com/PHLY. Use the code PHLY, and you get to receive this exclusive offer again before time runs out. That's butcherbox.com/PHLY. I need a big steak right now and a bottle of wine. That's for sure. All right, joining us. I love him, and I need him because he's not emotional.
I was last night.
Say hello from the PHLY Sixers show to my main man, Devon.
I'd rather talk about Trot Jr.
Dude.
I remember we used to sit there during the show. Before the show, we would do the pregame show together, me, him, and Michael Bradley. And he would show us film of the games with Junior and how things were going. He was like, look at this one. He got thrown out for this.
You know what the greatest is? Like
the four
he's
tackles.
so happy. He's more happy. That's why I love him.
Yeah,
he's more happy about his son
100%.
than anything he did.
100%.
And he was an incredible player. That to me is he's a great dad.
Yeah, it's the best. I'm so happy for him.
I know. And we're going to get to him, and I adore him, and I love Junior as well. This portion of the program is brought to you by the Bet Park Sportsbook and Casino app. All right, let's get to it. All right, we make some sense? Let's start with the inventive way in which they lose games.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I brought it up in the opening. We lost the Hawks game, the Kawhi game, the Game 6 last year. Can you make sense of last night? Like, how does that happen? How do you not protect a lead like that, Devon? Doc Rivers is in Milwaukee. You can't blame Doc.
So I think it was about 109 after Maxey hit the three-pointer to put them up, and take the lead. And I looked at Roy Burton and Rich Hoffman, who, as we were doing our watch-along last night, and it was a great shot. Sixers in a great spot after the make from Maxey. And later on, you get the Lowry free throws. But I looked at both of them and the audience that hung out with us last night. And I said, yes, this is great that they have a lead. And Maxey did what he needed to do playing through it. This is his flu game, as everyone kept calling it last night. But they always find a way. They never make me comfortable towards the end. I didn't know it was going to be an epic collapse, and add that to the ones that you just laid out from the Hawks, Raptors, and the Celtics. But that is now certainly a part of the history of this franchise with how they did it. Now, the difference here is they have an opportunity to still play 5 more games, or in this case, win 4 in a row. But that one, to drop that, and I'm not one to say they should be up 2-0. You were supposed to win one of those games.
Yes.
And the way it played out,
of course,
you were supposed to win one of those basketball games. That's how it was supposed to be. And for them to drop it the way that they did, for the ball not to cross half court again until the final possession there where Maxey had the one block, but then the final possession where they tried to get the 3-point shot.
Let's go. Let's do this. All right.
Unbelievable.
It is unbelievable. Let's take let's go in stages because we'll get comfortable.
That's amazing too. This is like an origin story here that you can write of how that last minute 09 played out.
It's unbelievable.
Right.
I got it.
Oh, you already did. Yeah, there you go.
Right there.
That's the origin story right there.
Right. Yep. It's right here. So let's go through it, okay? Because there's a million things. Get comfortable. You're going to be here for a while.
All right.
All right?
Let me take this.
So, by the way, the jacket, fire. That jacket is fire.
Thank you. Probably not good that I'm wearing an NBA jacket right now. With people
but
pissed off at the officials, but
yeah. Well, we should be, by the way. It was the freaking Lufthansa heist, all right? But unfortunately, you can't even cry officiating because they lost.
Sour grapes.
You know? Like, you can't do it, even though it was horrific. But let's start with it.
Tugging on the jersey.
So, Maxey, I got the still shot. We all went back and DVR'd it and went back and watched it and screenshot the tug like this.
It's the same as Embiid's in game 1.
Yeah, I mean, it's unbelievable, right? It's outrageous.
Yeah.
But let's look at it.
Let's go.
So Maxey hits the 3. God bless him, right? And Lowry, right? There's a miss. Lowry gets they got a double. They had an offensive board. Another miss.
Yes.
Remember, because the challenge happened, the second challenge that was unsuccessful, which gave the Knicks back the ball.
By the way, it took one of the 2 timeouts that Nick Nurse had left.
I know.
We'll get to that as we go along. But
which, by the way,
that's where your second one went.
Right. By the way, he was successful in the first challenge. I agreed with. That one, it was a clear foul. Yeah. Like, you can't, and you had a foul to give, cuz.
I know.
Like, if you have a foul to give, why are you challenging that?
Yeah. I don't know. All
right. So, but they survived because there's a miss. Lowry gets the rebound. Dude, all you got to do is just make both.
And after you got to
make both, cuz.
And after he split the other 2 free throws that he had before, I was sure that him being in this spot before, that he was going to step up to the line and knock both of those down. He knocked the first one down. And I thought there was no doubt about it that he was going to knock that second one down and push it to a 6-point game at that point. I was shocked that he actually missed that second free throw. I really was. Yep.
So was I.
Because he split the pair before. There was no way he wasn't going to make those.
And listen.
And we were talking about closing lineups.
Yes.
And we were going back and forth with the viewers and what's the closing lineup? And I'm like, Lowry's in there, probably Oubre or Harris, depending, and definitely Batum, Maxey, and Embiid. It was just a toss-up of whether it was going to be Oubre or Harris in the game.
Correct.
At that point. But Lowry had to be in the closing lineup because you need that extra ball handler.
Of course.
His veteran leadership.
Yes.
And he's been in those spots before where I thought if you got to that kind of point where we're talking about here with those free throws, that he was going to knock those down.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm still stunned he missed that.
I am.
And you know the difference because you always look at the game from a cerebral standpoint, and being up 6 versus 5 it's a mind bleep, right? It really does. Like, it means something being up 6, which is 2 full possessions, 2 threes, and knowing that you're gonna have to foul. It's like it's almost you're this close to give up, right? Like, there's always a point in a game where it's a give up time, right? And 6 just puts you on the precipice of give up, right or wrong.
No, you're absolutely right. Because, again, just to go back to it, we were like, they're either going to lose by 1 or they're going to win by 1. Just because how it was going back and forth and playing out, and the missed free throws with Embiid missing his 4, which is not like him.
Right.
And so we were make 3 of those 4. If you're off, that's an off night for you. Missing 1 is an off night for Embiid at the free throw line. Yeah. He missed 4. Lowry makes his free throws. He misses, he splits the 2. He goes 2 for 4 down the stretch. That's not like those 2 guys. And you're absolutely right. 2 full possessions in a 6-point game where you're forcing them to either hit 2 threes or 3 and an and 1. That's the only way that they're going to force an overtime situation versus the 5 where they can get an and 1 or hit a 3, but also to get the 2 to go some way or hit a 3 and take the lead by 1.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
So, all right, he misses. You play good defense.
Mm-hmm. He got the steal, by the way, laying on the ball on the floor at about 35 seconds. Was it 35?
Yeah.
I think it was about 37 seconds.
Yeah.
Lowry stripped Brunson.
Yep.
Dove to the floor on top of the basketball, but DiVincenzo somehow comes out of that with it because Hart is fighting Lowry for the ball and it skates away to him.
Yeah. Because at that point you're going, I'm thinking, I've seen this a million times, right? Like, This is down there, and the whole thing happens, and all right, 6 ball, and game's over.
Right.
Well, somehow the ball, thanks to the magnet that the NBA has in that basketball, winds up to the Knicks. And then Brunson, dude, I don't understand this shot because that shot was short. How did that bounce happen?
Good rotation
On the 3.
Good rotation.
I know, but I just want to.
I mean,
I want to cry
that's my
about
only
it.
response.
I know. I want to cry about it though because it's like I don't know about you. It's short.
Yeah. When it bounced up, I was like, oh, that's coming off.
Yeah.
Now secure the defensive rebound.
Right.
That's where I'm going.
Right. Exactly. I did the same thing.
Yeah.
But somehow the rotation backwards like a Kawhi piece.
Yeah, back.
Like that's a Kawhi piece.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And it goes in.
Yeah.
All right. So now let's get to Nurse because I go, all right, I understand what you're thinking that you want to try to quick inbounds to Maxey. Now, I would have called timeout and advanced the basketball right off the bat. It's just so much easier to inbound. You have the whole court to work with, right? When you move it up. All right, but I get your idea. If you're Kyle Lowry, you have to call timeout. Like, if you see that Maxey's covered like he is, instead of forcing, you gotta stop and call timeout. Forget about Nurse calling timeout for the bench, and the official looked at him and didn't respond. You're Kyle Lowry. You're a veteran. You just go like this. Timeout. And that's it.
I agree 100%. And that's where I went first because last night I went first there. And because of that, it was a made basket. So you can run the baseline, which he was.
Yep.
But he retreated from the left side of the baseline and only went to the right side of the baseline where now you just have Embiid in the middle.
Yep, you're cut off.
And Maxey on the one side. Meanwhile, Batum and Harris are on the other side. Yep. Let's just call that the weak side at this point because of how far it was. Didn't even attempt. He retreated from them and didn't attempt to go back to at least inbound where had they beeline to the basketball, sure to make it an opportunity for them to receive the basketball, that he was all the way on the other side and would have had to run back. So to your point, I was looking, I didn't need the immediate timeout because I get it. Kyle Lowry likes to get it in very, very fast. He and Batum are ones who sprint to the official, ask for the basketball, quick, not let the defense set.
I get it.
I didn't have a problem with it. And when you watch it, as we talk about the tug of the jersey with Maxey, the pass wasn't bad because as soon as he got it, it was like the hot potato. It wasn't grab it and fling it. He tried to make it a soft enough pass for him to secure it. They had to foul him and go to the free throw line, go to the other end. So the pass wasn't bad. It was obviously the tug on the jersey. The other part.
It was, but here's the thing. You also got to read your player, right?
Yes.
Like, you got to read the situation, and that's why he has to call timeout.
Right, and I'm getting to it because here's the other part. We're talking about Embiid is there. Hart and Brunson are solely focused on what Tyrese Maxey is doing, where he is, so he can cut that passing angle off. Embiid has, I think it was DiVincenzo, basically boxed out right there in the middle. I understand that he has an issue with the knee and all that stuff, but at the very least, if you throw it, I think it was actually Hartenstein. If you throw it to him, he has him boxed out. Hartenstein is at the very least over the back. And the officials, you can't not call that one with the over the back.
The way those guys were last night.
But that was the other pass. So even if he didn't want to, if he didn't feel comfortable there, that's why I'm like, all right, he surveyed it enough. That's 3 seconds. Call timeout. I don't need the timeout at 4. I need it at 3 as you're trying to figure out where you're going with Maxey and Embiid. It's not there. Bang. Done. Let's go to the sideline, advance the ball to half court. And then what you're doing is you're advancing the ball to half court. Now you got the other side of the half court plus your side where you can throw the ball in the back court.
That's my argument from the beginning, right? Like, you're under your own basket. A million bad things can happen.
Yes.
A million bad things can happen.
Especially when you cut yourself off.
Right.
Yeah.
So
and
why
that's not like
even
him.
mess with it?
That's not like him.
Why even? And again, it goes back to my point, which I agree with you. I understand. Hey, quick inbounds. And he said it, and we all understood it. but why mess with it?
Here's the other thing that I don't know that they didn't know. After the challenge was unsuccessful and they lose that timeout, because there have not been any dead balls, there were no timeouts. Did they forget that they had that second timeout in their pocket? I don't know.
Come on, man.
I'm asking.
I know.
I'm just asking because there was no reason for him not to call the timeout. There was no reason for Maxey after he fell to the floor not to call the timeout. So my question was,
but again,
did they not know that they had that second timeout in their pocket?
Yeah, I mean, you could hear freaking Nick Nurse, that ain't screaming.
It was loud as hell in there, though.
No, I know.
So did they not know?
But it was part and parcel to what we have seen from this team, that the IQ and the wherewithal at the end of games lacking. Yep. It lacks. Mm-hmm. And that's part of it. So now,
by the way, I would have preferred to have Batum taking the ball out, have Lowry and Maxey running, Embiid in the middle of the floor, and Harris probably midcourt somewhere, just come beeline into the ball. So Batum not taking the ball out was also probably a big deal.
I completely agree.
Mm-hmm.
Completely agree. This, by
because
the way,
he was also trying to call the timeout from the other side of the floor, but all eyes were on that side of the floor.
Yes. Sixers meltdown is the big story of the day, presented by TrueMark Financial Credit Union. Check out TrueMark.com/PHLY or stop in your local branch to learn more about the credit union difference at TrueMark Financial today. All right. So then the rebound.
The rebound.
So you have the inbound and then the rebound, right? And so the rebound, DiVincenzo gets the ball after the craziness, right? Happens, right?
Yeah.
The chaos. Somehow, DiVincenzo's wide open. I thought the first one goes. First one is missed pretty badly. And there's Joe and Tobias. And they're looking at like you and I.
Tobias was a little preoccupied, but not enough where he couldn't have. He tried to tip it. That's not going to do you any good either, going backwards towards them. So he tried to tip it. And Embiid was boxing out, I think, Anunoby.
Yes.
So the problem, too, is when you look at the replay, is Batum, as good as he is and has been, and we've talked about him, he boxed out no one.
Yep.
Hartenstein, free run from the three-point line, straight down the middle, no resistance, no body, no tag him, nothing. And he just, when you have that angle and you have that free run there, if it bounces properly, that's your basketball.
Yep.
And that's why it was his basketball.
Yep.
And he got it to Anunoby, who then kicked it back out to DiVincenzo to knock down that jumper. And you knew it was going in after that. And right, the body, you had to put a body on someone. We kept saying it last night. Put a body on someone. Rich is going crazy. That's on Tobias and Joel, right? That's on Tobias and Joel because he's right. And my question, the guy can't jump. Box. Now, he did have a body near him. So he's boxing, but somebody has to, at least you got to sacrifice. You have, I don't know how much he had no lift.
Yeah.
But you got to find a way to get off that right foot and jump.
And here's the problem, too. When it comes to Joe with that rebound, he didn't have a single rebound in the second half.
No, he had 10 in the first quarter.
Yeah.
10 in the first quarter. So he didn't have a rebound in the second, third, and fourth quarter.
I mean, but you can't make that up.
No.
Right? Like, you can't make it up. But here's why. And I know a lot of people are putting it on Embiid and stuff, and I can't do that, all right? Devon, when you look at that team, nobody stepped up. Like, Tobias, ghost. Oubre, weak. Buddy Hield, weak. Like, nobody stepped up. There's not one other role player. When Embiid is on the bench during that stretch in the third quarter, which I agreed with, I liked how Nurse did his rotation. And he got him the blow then, right? And he actually made a great coaching move by bringing him back at the very end of the third quarter to try to steal a possession going into the final quarter. But did you see how they ran that offense? They ran their offense without Embiid. They were 35 feet from the basket. It was Maxey heaving up prayers at the end of the shot clock.
Because he's the only one. That's it. He's the only one that they respected. They were defending him that way, and they were going to live with 35-footers or 35-footers that turned into him putting his head down and running, but he's up against the shot clock now, and he has to get a shot off. And he made some
Did you
really
see
good
how
passes.
far they pushed them out?
Yes, and he made some good passes on some kick passes to the corner, some diagonal passes where they had some open looks. He had 9 assists last night. And we were talking about
He
this.
should have 15.
And when they had their 20 made field goals, and they had 17 assists on their 20 made field goals at the break. They were doing a phenomenal job of sharing the basketball.
Yes, they were.
The issue was, again, they fell apart in the defense and the rebounding.
The issue is nobody else could knock down a shot.
Nobody could knock down a shot at all. Nobody could knock down a shot.
Like, here's where I was mistaken. I went, well, going into this year, and you and I talked about it. I was like, wow, they role players. Listen, Oubre's fearless. He's Tobias skill set, but he's fearless. What happened to Oubre?
I don't know. And the way he talked going into the series before they left to go to New York, he needed to back that up. Defensively, he's been really good. I give him that. But if you're a two-way player that we've seen the last couple of months with the way that he has played basketball, that is unacceptable for you to get 10 points in the first game and then, I don't know, 4 last night. For him to have that number.
4 points.
And 3 blown layups.
Dude, 4 points, 2 for 7, right? 4 points, 2 rebounds, 4 fouls.
And blown layups. He started the game off bad because he fouled within 30 seconds, 80 feet away from the basket.
The bad. That's the thing. Like, you lose your head in a big game. Like, that's what, unfortunately, with this team that's so frustrating and maddening is that they lose their basketball sense in these big moments and big stages.
And he did it again where he picked up another silly foul in the third quarter where Maxey, who should have recognized him, should have drilled the basketball to him as he cut baseline wide open under the basket for about 2 seconds, and he had to hit him, and he did not throw it. Oubre was visibly ticked off by it, came back down the floor, and that's when he just ran straight into whoever. I can't remember what the player was, but he just ran in and just body checked him like he was in the NHL playoffs and not in the NBA playoffs, and he picked up a foul. And it was a stupid foul because I thought it was a frustration foul because he did not get the pass from Maxey on the other end. So those things add up when it comes to his 4 fouls. Now his head is out of the game. He made it feel like he's not getting enough touches. And when he does get the touches, he's not making the most of his opportunity, blowing layups as he gets to the basket. Then he's complaining about the calls when he does get to the basket and he's not getting the foul call. And he did not do anything. He has been playing so good these last couple of months that we talked about him being the X factor in this series. And for him to come out offensively, because defensively he's been good. Offensively, you needed him to be that third guy to give you a consistent 15, maybe to 17, and you win one of those 2 games in New York.
Exactly. You look at what the contribution. So they've all done a great job with Brunson, right? Like, they're just throwing guys at Brunson, and Brunson is 2 for 100.
And Batum was phenomenal in that last 5 minutes.
Unbelievable, right? Well, here's the thing.
Yeah.
Hart stepped up both games, right? Deuces McBride stepped up in game 1.
Yep.
DiVincenzo steps up in game 2.
Yes.
Mitchell Robinson played good in game 1. Frankenstein plays good in game 2.
Yep.
Right? Like, from the Sixers standpoint, who can you say played well? Tobias played 41 minutes. 41 minutes. And he's 4 for 11. 10 points and 9 stinking rebounds in 41 minutes.
Lowry played good in game 1. He gave you that third quarter. He finished with 18. And then last night, nobody else stepped up to help. Lowry hit a big shot, certainly. In that fourth quarter, that three-pointer on the left side of the floor, he nailed that one. But outside of that, you're right. Batum did his part. He hit a big shot, played good defense. Oubre played good defense, but didn't get enough. They
need more scoring.
They needed more scoring.
I mean, they have to get more scoring.
I mean, look at this score, 104
Tobias,
and 101.
Oubre, and Buddy Hield. And Buddy Hield looks like he's petrified.
It's his first playoff. This is his. You realize?
I know.
Yeah. No, I'm not saying that as an excuse. I'm saying that his first time in the playoffs, we thought this would be good for him. He's coming up super small.
I mean,
you got to take the minutes away from him.
Yeah. Listen, I agree with Nick Nurse.
Unless he feels like you feel like the coming home, the role player, like Miles McBride playing at home and Bogdanovich playing at home as the role player. They're knocking down their shots. Mitchell Robinson, Isaiah Hartenstein. unless you feel like he's going to come home now and play better in front of the home crowd, like role players do on their home floor. I don't know how his minutes are not warranted now.
No,
they're just not, except for the idea of it.
Yeah,
and that's not happening right now.
Here's the problem, though. Where are you giving those minutes? Ricky Council?
I mean, and it's not just because I like go get him, Rick, and all that stuff. He at least between he and Campaign are going to provide some energy.
Oh, the Campaign thing. He needs to play.
You got to provide some sort of energy. I understand somewhere.
That he and Maxey are a bad fit together for all that time. You know, because Maxey's going to play 44 minutes last night.
Yes.
So
with the flu,
right? But your Campaign has to play.
You have to, even if it's when McBride's minutes, you have to put him out there to provide some sort of spark. And bring some energy, because it might be a 3-pointer and a layup that swings it a little bit there that he adds there in a few minutes. And again, he has playoff experience. He did it with the Phoenix Suns during their championship run.
Yeah,
in the NBA Finals when they fell short. But
he could do it.
He's been there.
Shot. I mean, you need some sort of
Buddy Hield
scoring.
Has to give you something, and that's why he has such a quick hook. If it's not there, he's out. And Nick Nurse is not wrong about that. But you got to call somebody else's number.
What's amazing about it is, he just looks overwhelmed. Like he gives you nothing.
He can't, even when he puts the ball on the floor, you're like, all right, he's going to get by player X, not Josh Hart, but player X. Dante is all up in his jersey.
Yeah.
Step for step. He's beating him to the spot every single time. And then he gives the ball up and he hoists up a fadeaway to your left 3-pointer because he's trying to get a shot off, because it's so frustrating, because he can't get open and he's forcing shots now.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
It's mind-boggling.
And then when you see the shots that he's made during the regular season in his time here, he's quick on the release off the catch. He's hesitating that. So that split second is no longer there for him because it's in his head where he's not shooting the basketball. Yeah. Nick Nurse has to find a way to maybe find a spot where the game, maybe they have a lead, and you throw Payne or Ricky in there. Ricky's going to just play with reckless abandon, and you're going to have to live with it.
Dude, I hear you.
It's at least energy.
Yes.
And guess what? He's going to put a body on somebody.
Yes.
He doesn't know what he doesn't know.
2 things. I agree with that. 2 things. First, let's talk about Joel. Give me your JoJo take.
I thought he was really good with how he was still able to manufacture his shot attempts, and with it, I still had some issues with a few things. The 10 rebounds, as you mentioned already in the first half, that you have to find a way to box out and secure some of those rebounds. Yes, they're floorboards. He did get one late in the fourth quarter. Thought he did a really good job there. Had no issue there. His passing, he had that great pass to Maxey on that 3-pointer to give them the lead, and that was great. So, also, with him, you also needed, I had an issue with the one turnover that he did have where he was playing against in the fourth quarter, some of the guys, and when he did it, when he had it, he turned the basketball over because he's driving. If he can't move laterally and he can't take anybody off the dribble on the perimeter, you can't put the ball on the floor on the perimeter where perimeter guys are going to come at you and they're going to be faster. You cannot do that. So with the Embiid, I thought he was really good. You have to find a way to get more offensive rebounds, even if you're just jumping off that 1 foot, off that good leg, the right leg, and securing the basketball somehow or tipping it to a teammate. You have to do it because you cannot play like that around this New York Knicks team where they all 5 crashed the glass. We
talk about more. Thibodeau is one of the few coaches that's not afraid of a run out. And he's going to muck it up, and he's going to crash.
He sends all 5. Yeah. He sends all 5. So Embiid is really good. He was really, really good. To get the number of points that you got out of him on one leg is fantastic. But he also can't force some of those shots, too. He's taking a fadeaway off the bad leg, where he's not getting the lift that he's accustomed to.
But you know what's weird? Because their offense is so disjointed. Like, when he's not on the floor, they have no prayer to score.
I know. But he was
so like, I almost had to live with 9 threes.
I'll be honest with you.
For him to take a rep because the offense is you can't score without him on the floor.
I'll be honest with you, and it's going to be, you're going to kill me, and Derek killed me last night, which was in that final 2 minutes because he couldn't move. I know he made the pass to Maxey. He couldn't move. I was like, I got to get him off the floor just because he couldn't move. They needed rebounds.
I hear you, dude. But again, if I had anybody
he's
else,
the best player, but
if I had anybody else I could lean on in that situation, maybe I would. I hear you, but I can't do that. I'm sorry. I know, and you're not alone. I know a lot of people are saying the same thing about the guy. I can't do that
because I thought there would be enough dead ball situations with the 2 timeouts
to give him a rest.
Give him a rest. At least have, let's say, Reed is in there for a possession, for a rebound.
He's horrible, dude.
I got it.
He's horrible.
I got it.
If I hear that one more time, we'll get B-ball Paul. And I love the kid.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying
he just doesn't know where he's at on the floor.
I'm saying spot just because he had nothing. He couldn't jump.
I know.
He can't jump.
I know.
But I know.
I mean, and all right, the other thing is, so where do we go from here? Like, because here's the one thing. This Knicks team's not very good. They're all heart, and that's no pun intended. They're great, and they're tougher, and they've proven tougher, and they have, beat you up, and they've won games, right? They beat you up mentally. Coming back to Wells Fargo, series isn't over.
It's not over.
So what adjustments do you make coming home?
But, man, that one felt like 2 losses last night.
It did. It felt like 5 losses. It felt, again, it's so fresh.
You can be defeated.
The wound, it's still oozing.
I see it. Yeah, right there.
Oozing.
It's oozing. But you feel deflated after that.
Oh, yeah.
Now, the good thing, they do have 2 days off.
Yeah, no, that's huge.
To not have to play tomorrow
Correct.
and to play Thursday helps them. Yeah. Maxey hopefully feels better. And B, whatever they do to get him ready to go. And you just got to take one game at a time. The adjustments are finding a way to, if you don't have it with one player, when we talk about those role players, that you quick hook. You just got to have the quick hook and go to the council or to the Payne part of the rotation, even if it's KJ Martin.
I'm with you guys with the council. I got to try. I got to try it.
Even when we were talking rebounds, and like you said about the Paul Reed part, KJ Martin at least battles for a rebound, even though he's 6'4", 6'5". You just need somebody that can put a body on someone to allow you to at least, you have to get that floorboard when the ball falls in front of you because your guy did the right thing by boxing out. But some nurse has to find another way to dig deeper into his bag.
You got to get more scoring. You need somebody mercifully.
That's where the Payne piece comes in, even if it's 7 points.
Yes.
But Harris,
you need that right now. You need that 7 points
Harrison
right now.
Oubre, I can't even look to Buddy Hield right now. If he makes the shots, he makes the shots. But it's on Harrison Oubre. They have to do something.
Yeah, I'm with you, brother. Love you, brother. We've been doing this a long time.
Yeah, man. So another one. Add this one to the list.
Yeah, it's just it. I mean, I did the whole thing.
Add this one to the list.
They're so good at losing, like finding different. Like I'm jealous of their creativity in which they lose.
Yeah, I wish there was
our hearts out.
I wish there was no jealousy.
Oh my God!
Tell Trotter I said congrats and good luck.
Man. I love him, man.
I did text him, but
I'm so proud of him, man.
Tell him I said congrats.
Trot, it was funny. Baby Axe. So Trot and I did our show for years, right? Mm-hmm. And Baby Axe, he brought Young Axe to the show.
Yep.
Talk about feeling old. I was like, wow, man. The guy I love the Trotters. Love them. So they're going to join us coming up. All right, babe. Good stuff, babe. Appreciate it. Let me tell you about the Bet Park Sportsbook and Casino app. Oof. It's a shame, man. Sixers money line would have been a score last night for a lot of you guys, right? And you still got Maxey over his point total and Embiid over his point total. Check out all the SGPs, that playoff SGPs. And the other thing, you know what's money? The fightings, all right? Look at the fightings every night. Just win, W, right? Look at that. You can play it all. NHL playoffs. Right, you name it, right there on the Bet Park Sportsbook and Casino apps. This is a fun time for stuff, right? It's great sports time, and so check out the Bet Park Sportsbook and Casino app. And like during the game, halftime, down moments, you want to play your favorite casino action, live blackjack, right? Like live dealers, they got all your favorite casino games, or the Bet Parks, or you go to the Parks Casino in Ben Salem. For just fun, man. It's beautiful. It's a lot of fun. Great food, great hang. Check out the also for all your sports. You win your first $10 bet. You earn $125 in sportsbook bonus bets. You play for fun. You love to win. You bet Parks. Download the app, play along with us. Got to be 21 or older. Please gamble responsibly. You or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. And we're brought to you by TrueMark. That's right, TrueMark Financial Credit Union. I know today. So Kelly Body is the CEO of TrueMark Financial Credit Union. She's an amazing banker. Like, she just understands, when it comes to financial institutions, Kelly is a whiz. But she's also a crazy 4-for-4 person. So she's, I'm sure, depressed as all get out today after that Sixers game. Listen, what I love about TrueMark is Kelly's local, right? She's from here. She understands it. She gets it. And TrueMark Financial Credit Union is all about being local. They're headquartered in Fort Washington, 24 branches across the Philadelphia area, right? Like, so it's all about the local. And the beauty of the credit union is you're part owner. And that means profits come back to you instead of shareholders. You also get better rates, lower fees, a better return on savings, more flexible options, and all the same digital tools and tech that we've come to know when it comes to financial services. You got to get to know TrueMark Financial Credit Union. I'm telling you, head over to TrueMark.com/PHLY to learn more, to find a branch near you. That's TrueMark.com/PHLY, federally insured by the NCUA. All right. We've reached 10 o'clock, the 10 o'clock hour across the Delaware Valley. And I'm very proud of our next guest. And we have both. Oh, I love it. I love this family. They're an incredible Philadelphia family, one of the gifts of Texas that gave our region. And, of course, Jeremiah Trotter Sr. and Jeremiah Trotter Jr. joins us right now. Trots! What's up?
Yo, what's up, baby?
What's up?
Cuz, what's happening?
Oh, my God. It's so good to see you guys. Oh, man. So, listen, Junior, do you remember coming to the show with me and your father? Like, when we would do our show and he brought you to the show. Oh, my God. I'm looking at you now. Stud, right? Going to be a stud NFL player. So proud of you, man.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Hey, Senior, how do you look like you can still play?
Yeah, you just seen my head. You ain't seen the lower half.
So what are you going to do? First, I got to ask you, what's the plans for Thursday night? What are you guys doing draft night? What's the party like? What are you guys thinking?
Just going to be at the house, man. Got a few friends over and just going to enjoy the draft on Friday. We're going to have Friday. Thursday night, just going to be hanging out, watching the draft. And, we in grind mode, man. We in grind mode. Once his season was over at Clemson and he went in to prepare for the combine and his pro day. Once that's over, we get ready for the next step. We're preparing for the season now, so
it all begins, man. This journey's been so awesome. Junior, what's it like? The pride of the prep, right? Like, I mean, coming through it, what's this journey been like for you? And when you look at this draft, what does it mean to you?
No, it's been a long journey, but now that it's here and it's about that time, it seems like all the hard work that I put in, and just I just give glory to God and just all the hard work though put in. It just means a lot more. It was all worth it to get to this point, and I just thank God, thank family, friends, everybody that was along with me on my journey, to help me get to this point.
What have you? What does your father mean to you during this whole thing? He's a great dad. I watched him. Right? Like he's just a good man. And what about the role that he played in just growing up through this thing, and how instrumental was his career into you choosing this path?
No, he means a lot to me. As a dad, as a father figure, somebody like look up to, learn from. But also, as far as football, teaching me how to play linebacker. That So I've been learning how to play linebacker since a young age. Been teaching me like the ins and outs, like the little techniques and things that he's learned throughout his career. So it definitely helped out a lot to get to this point.
Yeah, I watch you explode through the A gap, and I go, I see the big 5'4". What? Right? I mean, like that A gap. Nobody exploded the A gap like your dad. What did you want this for Junior? Like, how do you set out? Like, I got two boys that play football, and they're 11 and 14, and I want you to kind of talk about fatherhood for a second. And as you look, and I know with such great pride that you have in Junior, what was your mindset with this? Did you have an interest, or like how did it all start for him?
Well, we have a tendency as parents to kind of steer our children into the areas that we really enjoy. And, obviously football is a staple in our family, and I wanted to, steer him towards that. And, you put them in it at a young age, you just coach them, let them have fun and teaching them ins and out. And you hope they enjoy or love it the way you love it. And, he always loved the game. He was always physical when he was little. Even at 2 or 3 years old, just a physical, tough kid. And, I knew at a young age, if he continued to grow, and God gave him my abilities, he would be at this moment now. So just a joy to watch the process throughout his career, his journey, and to see the young man he's become, all the hard work, the sacrifices that has went into it. And, a lot of times as athletes, people see, you play on Sundays or Saturdays on game days, but they don't really understand the amount of work and sacrifices that have went into it just to get to the stage that he's at now.
Yeah, the behind the scenes stuff, I mean, the aches and pains and all the work to do for prep, and you lived it. It was funny. I look at you now, and you're so prideful. I love it. I love the father's pride. Like, you could care less about your own, what you've accomplished, and what was an amazing career, and it's all about Junior. I just think that's beautiful.
Yeah, man. I'm just happy for him, man. I'm happy for him. A lot of times you get a lot of parents that kind of live through their children, right? But I don't have to do it because, one, I played the game, I played the highest level, but I'm just happy for him, man, because, no matter the amount of talent that God gave me or God gave him, it still has to be extra things that go into that to make that talent work, and like I said, sacrifice, determination, the work ethic, the heart, the dog, all of those things have to go into it, man. And I've seen him do it. He's been a pro since a young age, just always about his business, always putting in the work needed to be done. And then, when you combine all of those attributes and the God-given ability, you get a heck of a player.
Junior, when did you know that this was really the path you wanted?
I'll probably say, like eighth grade, as I got older and really understood, how high I could get and like the work that it took to put in. Because when you're younger, you're just playing the game for fun, running around, just having fun with your friends, or just trying to go out there and make plays. But as I grew older and took it more seriously, seeing it as like a career I would like to go down, I started to, really grind and focus in on like what I had to do to get to this point. So pretty young age that I was taking it seriously, how I carried myself, how I prepared to make sure I was I could make it to this point, and I just making sure that the first thing overall was keeping God first.
How did St. Joe's Prep really kind of help you and kind of get you through it? Because I think it's a wonderful program, and they really help shape. And what kind of role did the prep have in preparing you for Clemson and such big time football and ultimately the draft?
I feel like they did a very good job preparing me, and I feel like they do a good job just preparing the student athletes that go through that high school. Just because as far as academic wise, it is pretty tedious, and is you're gonna have to be hardworking and focused academically, if you want to make sure that you keep your grades up. And then football wise as well, you're playing against good competition in the area. You travel and you'll play competition around the country. So you're getting, you got to be focused on both ends of the spectrum to make sure you're prepared. And I feel like St. Joe's really did a good job of doing that. So when I got to college, I could just like keep doing what I've been doing for 4 years, really. So they really prepared me, really made sure I was ready on both my academics and as an athlete.
What do you remember from Dad's career? Were you living it like Eagles fan, the whole thing? Like, what do you remember from that?
For me, I was pretty young when he was playing, but I remember highlights going as I got older, going to games and like seeing how fans interacted with him. He brought me and my brother out on the field when he was inducted on the Eagles Hall of Fame. So I remember, parts of his career like that, and it's like just basically seeing like the impact that he made, as far as on the Eagles fans and just the game of football in general. And so I experienced that, and just I remember how everybody would treat him, coaches, players, fans, and I just really admire that.
Listen, when Dad came back, right, and this is a long time. It was like 2004. See, in 02 and 03, we missed that. The Eagles, if Dad was playing middle linebacker in 02 and 03, the Eagles would have won the Super Bowl, right? But he comes back in 04, and he did something that was so amazing, right? And I want to share this with you because I lived it with him. So he was clearly better than who was playing in that position at the Mike linebacker. But Dad didn't say a word, right? Like, Dad worked his ass off. He just, all the respect in the world. Then they got trounced by the Steelers. And then Andy Reid said, you know what? I got to put the Axeman in. And the Axeman never left the field after that. And he was one of the big, and he was always team guy. And in fact, he did wrong. And it was salary cap, it was business, right? But he wanted his contract when he left, and they wouldn't give him a deal, and he deserved it, right? So he goes to Washington, and before he came back to Philadelphia, he called Coach Andy Reid, and there was a dream, and they talked to one another, and it was really a beautiful moment. And I thought your father handled that moment with amazing class. And then as they go on to this Super Bowl, Dad is rolling, the team's rolling, and then we started creating T-shirts. See, we were early with the merch called the Axeman T-shirt. And your uncle ran the operation. The hatchet.
Yeah, the hatchet. My brother.
What do you remember from that year, that story, and the lesson that really it helps, to impart to Junior about how you handle that stuff?
Well, just always grind, man. And, when things are not going well, pray and grind. And I went through, they know all the stories about my rookie year, how tough it was for me, and, just losing my dad and having to try to play underneath that stress, and, just going back to the hotel and burying my head into the pillows and just crying myself to sleep. And just grind, just pray and grind, man. When things get tough, you pray and grind. Eventually, you're gonna get through it. So, I feel very confident that I've done everything I could do to raise my children the best way I could. I'm not perfect; they're not perfect, but I feel very confident that I prepared him to be able to withstand anything that life has to throw at him.
What do you think is when you're raising a young athlete? Because it's a passion of mine, having my two boys and sports, and I think sports is so important to children, boys and girls, and their development in every walk of life, right? And it helps keep them out of trouble, and it helps kind of hone their social skills, and it teaches them to dig deep inside them. What's some of the advice that you give to young athletes and young football players, especially those, like Junior, who have some talent, real talent?
Well, my dad used to say there's more than one way to skin a cat, right? So basically, there's more than one way to raise your children. I only know how I raised mine, and sports for us wasn't just, oh, let's go have fun and just this. No, we're gonna compete to win, because life is all about winning. Everything you do in life is competition. And if you can put forth the work ethic, the discipline, and all those things that it takes to win, even if you don't win, if you're putting forth all of those things it takes to win, all of those things translate outside of football to the classroom, in life, when it's time to compete, when things don't go well. You're able to withstand. You got a good foundation. You're able to withstand those things, those darts, and those things that life throws at you.
Did you have a place of maybe for me it's Chick-fil-A. I take Anthony to after a game, and if he's not, something happens, or after practice, I go get him a milkshake and about 100 nuggets, and that's kind of our bonding moment. Did you guys have something like that, like a bonding time, or when things like after a game, youth game, high school game?
Well, fortunately, for us, had a great wife, had a great mom. We didn't eat out a lot. So she would prepare everything for the most part. So we didn't have necessarily a particular place. But for us, bonding was either playing golf or just surrounded by football. After youth games, we would go straight home. My wife would prepare a meal for everybody, and it would always have a couple of teammates over, maybe a couple of the coaches' sons and some of the other coaches, and we would sit down and watch the film. We would make our corrections that day while it was still fresh on their mind, and so they would play on Saturday. We go home, watch everybody shower up. We would eat while we're watching film, and make the corrections. Then we would put that game behind us. The next week we'll start preparing for the next opponent. So for us, that was, for me anyway, that was a great bonding time for me. I can't speak for Jeremiah and Josiah, but that was great bonding for me.
How about you, Junior? How do you see it? What do you remember of those bonding moments? I just think they're so precious, right? That you'll always have that. Like, having your dad be that close to you is a beautiful gift.
Yeah, no, those bonding moments, definitely mean a lot, especially growing up and when you're young and trying to develop, and you're just playing football for fun. And then if sometimes you come off a tough loss, and then you have like one of those moments, like going back home, you'll have a dinner. My mom would cook, teammates come over, and we'll watch film, and then after film, after we made the corrections, we just hang out and have a little bit of fun. Watch TV, play video games, stuff like that. All of it, just growing up, things that you miss, about the growing up and learning. But I remember those times, just watching film with my teammates, and then after we made the corrections, just playing video games and just putting that game behind us. So definitely means a lot, and I appreciate my dad, just how he raised us, and everything he taught me.
Is how important having dad going through his experience translating to you when it comes to preparedness for this, now going into the NFL and then playing, big time college football at Clemson?
No, it definitely means a lot, just because when you're learning things that an NFL caliber player has learned throughout his career, and you're learning at a young age, when other kids they're not learning until later in their careers. It means a lot because you can start working on it earlier, and you already know the correct technique, and like the how to go about how you play the game, and prepare for the game at an early age, so you can start working on that and correcting that. So when you get to this type of level, you're confident and that you're prepared, and you have all the tools that you need to succeed. You just gotta keep grinding, keep working, and make sure that you just give God the glory, and everything else will fall in place.
Junior, what do you love about football?
I'd probably say the biggest thing for me is the competition. I love going out there and competing against other high talented players, and even if you don't make a mistake or you miss a tackle, you can always work on things to improve your game and get better so you can um, outperform the players that you're going against. So I love that factor of just always looking to get better and competing, and just seeing it the hard work that you put in off the field or when the lights aren't on pay off on game day.
Do you like the X and O part? Like having dad who knows the game from that standpoint at such a high level, such a high football IQ. Is that something that translated down to you, where you look at the X and O's, and it's because there's something fun about that piece of it too, especially you as the quarterback of the defense.
Oh, definitely. That's definitely another fun part of the game. Just the mental part. When you're watching film and you pick something up and then you see it on game in game time, and you can just react faster than your opponent because you know what's coming. Like there's some situations in college when I was watching film and I see a motion out of this formation, a certain offensive formation, and I knew what was coming. So I'm basically beating the running back or the offensive lineman to the point. And because I study film and I put in the work for the mental part to make sure I play fast.
Do you, Senior, when you think about the beauty of being a dad, right, and the beauty of him following your footsteps is the mistakes that you made, right? Like you realize that. So it's awesome, right? Because you can then kind of prep them into not making the same kind of mistakes. What did you like? Give me an example of maybe something that you told them to warn against.
Just going through your progressions, get the play in, go through your progressions, see splits by the receivers, or check the offensive linemen, because those big guys, as they get a little tired, they start to lean or cheat, especially when they're pulling or when they're pass setting. Certain formation, a lot of times you'll see a tight end that's off the ball peeking where he wants to go, stuff like that. So those type skills, it takes time to learn all that, because most people, they just line up, they get the call, line up and play. You can't play football that way. You have to communicate, right? So if you see a guy leaning, hey, alert the pool right here, alert the pool. Now you're not only making yourself better, you're making the people around you better. Now that doesn't mean you just take off running to the left. You just alert the pool right here, or alert run, or alert the pass, and all of it, man. Just watching tons of film, because everybody have telltale signs. We're human. Everybody has it. The great ones, they do a really good job of making everything look the same. But for the most part, everybody has something. We're creatures of habit, and a lot of times we get in the habit of doing certain things, and then it's your job to watch film to check those habits, and little stuff like, okay, I know you're blitzing on this play before the snap. Well, how you know that? Well, your stance is different from when you're not blitzing. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
And I said, if I can see it, they can see it. So just the ins and outs of the game. I mean, they was learning stuff, was using your hands, stuff that I didn't learn until I got to the NFL. So I feel very fortunate to be able to instill all of that knowledge back into them.
That's awesome. You kind of fell in love with coaching, didn't you? Like you seemed like you got the bug.
No, I wouldn't say I fell in love with coaching. I've always loved to coach my boys just to make them better, and because I help coach their teams, I felt a responsibility to help everyone else also. So
yes.
I felt a responsibility that all the people that came along, came up with them, played with them, I owed it to the game to teach everyone else also, because God, blessed me to be in that position. So, and I've absorbed a lot of knowledge over my career. I played with a lot of smart people. I played underneath for a lot of smart people, coordinators, position coaches, and I also studied other players' game. I watch other players' game. When I'm watching offenses, I'm studying other linebackers. What do, what not to do. Well, that didn't work for him, so I'm not going to try that. I've been able to give all that knowledge back to them. And I always tell them, listen, I went through all these mistakes, so you don't have to. I'm telling you, this is what's coming. This bait right here. Don't go for the bait. All right, don't go for the bait. Hold out the deep, break on the short. Down in distance. You already got to know the down in distance, man. You already got to get a cadence of the quarterback. Watching game film. See, I always talk to them watch game film, because game film you get a really good feel of the defense coordinator and what stages of the game he likes to make certain calls. Like I said earlier, we're creatures of habits, right? And coaches in certain situations, they go back to what they know has worked in the past, right? So when you're watching game film, you can get a feel of what's going on in the defense coordinator's mind versus watching cutups.
Makes perfect sense. Junior, what advice would you have for young athletes and young football players?
First, I would say be strong in your faith, because when you're going down this path and you're trying to make it to this level, everybody's going to have, their trials and tribulations. So if you're not strong in your faith, when those tribulations come and trials, then you're not going to be able to make it through. So that'd be the first thing. And the second thing would be just work hard and grind, because there's a lot of people are saying that I've heard is talent will lose to it basically says like when talent isn't working hard, hard work is going to beat talent any day. So you can have all the talent in the world, and there's so many stories of people that have all the talent in the world, but they doesn't have the mindset or the work ethic. And the people that are less talented will outwork them, and they'll beat them out, or they'll accomplish more. So that would probably be the two biggest things I would say. If you have that mindset and you keep God first, then you'll be able to make it to the heights that you want to make.
Beautiful, great stuff. Senior, long way from chopping wood, baby. Long way from Texas, brother.
Hey, it made a man out of me, though, man. I wouldn't change anything.
Yeah.
Out there chopping those woods, man, in this Texas heat, 105, 110 degrees all day in the summertime. When I got home from school, made a man out of me, man. And I knew no matter, there was nobody on the football field that was going to outwork me, because I already worked all day. Then I go to practice and work another 2 hours. Hey, I'm ahead of the game.
That's right. Hey, Junior, your father has the greatest trait. He makes people feel good. When he comes in the room or when he talks to you, he makes people smile and he makes people feel good, which is a great gift. Not ball carriers or quarterbacks, but everybody else, he makes them feel good. I sense that's like you. I wish you all the success in the world, man. All right? I love that Trotter name. It means a lot in this area. So God bless both of you, and good luck, and enjoy it, man. Take a moment, no matter what happens, where you go, just enjoy your accomplishment that you're going to be drafted into the NFL, Junior.
I appreciate that, and definitely going to try to, smell the roses and really enjoy it.
Trot, love you, buddy.
All right, love you too, cuz.
You're the man.
All right, take it easy.
God bless you. Here he is, the Trotters. I love them, and they're fantastic. Father and son. What a great time. All right, we're going to be talking to Tim Legler. So we got Legs. I was very excited to get Legs. Hello, JP. How you doing? Yeah, a lot of fun.
That was awesome.
A lot of fun talking to the Trot. We go back, Trot and I did the show for a while. We're very, very close for years.
I put the tweet out there, like, Trot growing up, he was a hero, but listening to him now, like, he's become a hero in a different sense now that we're all adults, because he's such a great father. Like, that was awesome to listen to.
Yeah, I love that stuff. I think it's important. All right, coming up, we're going to get Legs, and it kind of makes sense. All right, I need legs therapy today. Leg therapy. Yeah. Let's talk about Rite Aid for a second and the importance of Rite Aid, your neighborhood pharmacy. Listen, your local Rite Aid, whatever it is, like you need. Like, I don't know about you guys, but if I go like this constantly, it's my allergies are all over. Pollen is everywhere. So I wake up sneezing, and poor Julia, our executive producer, she's every day. You all right? Oh, her allergies. It's itchy, swollen eyes, congestion. We all know it. Get all of your allergy relief at your local Rite Aid. So the beauty of the Rite Aid pharmacist is you can say to them, because I was in there not long ago, and I said, I have trouble with allergy medication because it makes me drowsy. And even the non-drowsy, now, I don't know if it's psychosomatic, but I'll take the non-drowsy and I'll fall asleep. I'm ready to fall asleep. God forbid I take Benadryl. I'm out, for hours, right? So I talked to a local pharmacist, Rite Aid pharmacist, like, what could you recommend? And they recommended me a medication, and it gave me a little relief. I was very happy, and I didn't get tired. It's a big deal, all right? So allergies, whether it's nasal rinses to help flush out your nasal passages, that's an issue, right? They help immensely. I'm telling you, check out your nearest Rite Aid and talk to your Rite Aid pharmacist. They'll help you through the allergy season. They'll help, because sometimes it makes you miserable, right? You don't want to be miserable doing things. Trust me. Go to your local Rite Aid pharmacist. They're there for you. That's why I love Rite Aid. The truly neighborhood pharmacy, all your goods, whatever you need, go to Rite Aid, riteaid.com. Check it out. JP?
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, it is 10:36 in the morning across the Delaware Valley. We just want to take a quick second to genuinely thank you. Thank you for checking out the Anthony Gargano Show, even after that tough loss against the Knicks in Game 2. But we want to take a quick second to remind you guys, we are live every Monday through Friday, 9 to 11, here on the YouTube channel, PHLY Sports. Make sure you guys, number one, hit the like button for this episode. And, of course, make sure you guys are subscribed. Once you guys subscribe, hit that little bell button so you can know exactly when the Anthony Gargano Show will be live. And, of course, if you want to listen to it, you want to put it in the car while you're driving into work or to your kids' football, baseball practice, you could pop it in the podcast streaming sites, Apple, Google, Spotify, you name it. Look it up, The Anthony Gargano Show. You can subscribe there. Leave a little rating. We would appreciate that as well. Also, if you want to be part of this family, it's very simple. You just got to be a diehard, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. Diehards are getting exclusive content here from our great beat writers that we have. Only diehards can get this exclusive content. And I know we all want to know exactly what happened to the Sixers in Game 1 and Game 2. Well, our Sixers writers have you covered with some of those diehard articles. But not only just that, you get to be part of the great community with the Discord chat, right? We got some great back and forth going on in some of those chats. And you get some discount on the fantastic merchandise. You guys can see here today, I got the PHLY hoodie. I also, not only that, guys, I got the PHLY baseball t-shirt on. That's right. We're swagged out on PHLY. You guys can too as well. You just got to head on over to the PHLY locker. If you are a diehard, you get discounts there as well. And of course, you can still get the 4for4 t-shirt for the cuz himself. So that's what we got here for you today. And next up, it's leg day. Legs.
Yes, leg day is here. And we got them. Looking forward to it. To make some sense, we were texting last night. I was trying to get some leg therapy going after last night's Sixers loss.
Need that.
Oh, my God. We got them. There we have legs. Audio. All right.
Set up
set them up because this is his time. And so Legs is all over, obviously, ESPN, all the shows, breaking it down. And well, I still can't believe that they found a way to lose that game. Like, once you're up 5, I know we talk about it all morning, but it's just been completely insane. All right, let's get Legs. All right, there he is. What's up, buddy? We have him?
He's reconnecting.
All right.
He had a bad connection.
Oh, yeah. Well, he's on, I think he's on the set of one of the shows.
Okay.
First Take or I'm not sure. I know Stephen A's got to be crowing today.
Wait,
New York crowing.
He actually said that Maxey when Brunson grabbed his Maxey's jersey, he said that was a foul.
Well, sure, it was a foul.
It was a foul.
You see, like this. That's a foul. Like, see this? This is a foul, ref. That's a foul, ref. Sorry.
Cuz you're gonna have to teach these refs how it works.
Oh my God. I mean, I felt like the Lufthansa heist. Like, are you kidding me? It was ridiculous.
We were talking about,
you got to win. Like, I can't blame the ref in good conscience. I can't blame the officiating in good conscience because they, you got to tough it out and win.
There's other things that could have been done for sure. You can't just blame this game on the refs.
No, I mean that's why. But again, it's fair to say that it was officiated horribly.
Yeah. That was the frustrating part. I mean, even like, listen, we talked about with VG. I mean, obviously he's no stranger to officiating the kids' games, and that could be definitely difficult. But man, those refs were just absolutely terrible last night. And like you said, you can't just blame it all on the refs because the Sixers absolutely had opportunities. When you're talking about a 5-point lead with 40 seconds left, you should be able to close out that game. And any type of situation, a good team is closing out that game in 40 seconds. I mean, we could talk about the jersey grab. We could talk about the not calling the timeout. We could talk about the missed free throws. But at the end of the day, the game is played in 4 quarters, and you got to be able to take care of business in those 4 quarters. And unfortunately, that just did not happen last night. And, as we switch over here to Philadelphia. We move back to game 3 and 4 here in Philly. Obviously, adjustments need to be made. But the refereeing, obviously, we talked about the grievance that they filed, which I don't know what that's going to do.
That's going to do nothing. You're not going to do anything. You got to close out the game. Yeah, I mean, that's the most important thing. By the way, I have to say this, and Villanova Twitter is a stone violation. Like, I get that, Josh Hart has been a beast, right? And Brunson, and I get it, right? Like, and DiVincenzo and the whole thing. But Villanova Twitter has to understand where the university is and who they're playing. Like, the glee. It felt like it was Nick's Twitter. VG's right. VG's incensed. He's like, that. He's up. First of all, he's never been in the Villanova man because truthfully, he's a Syracuse fan. Oh. So, because he went to Syracuse.
The old Big East.
All right. So, bleep VG and his orange men.
Did you like Melo in the front row, VG?
Yeah, you enjoy that? Your boy, right? But he is right about this. You can't be gleeful. Like,
that was insane.
You got to remember who they're playing.
Yeah.
You're a Philadelphia school. You got to remember who you're playing.
I don't know, because I heard that there's a lot of North Jersey kids up there, New Yorkers over there.
Yeah, there is, but
maybe that's just running the account.
But
he's a Knicks fan.
I know. I believe it. I thought about that. But somebody at that university has to step up. Listen, my niece went to Villanova Law School.
Awesome.
All right? Like, somebody's got to step up and understand who they're playing.
And then they give you the one tweet.
That's a violation.
They were trying to regroup and trying to bounce back from those tweets, and they put out the Kyle Lowry and Tim Thomas embracing each other. Some of the old Villanova heads. So it was absolutely that is an absolute violation. Tweeting the Josh Hart shots and DiVincenzo's last shot, Jalen Brunson as well. That's just an absolute violation. I mean, I get it. Listen, those are your boys, and Villanova. You could tell the Villanova presence on that New York Knicks squad. But at the end of the day, it's Philly versus New York. You can't just be giving all the love to the Knicks.
No, I know. It's horrible. All right, I don't know. We're still trying to get a hold of legs. By the way, this portion of the program is brought to you by TrueMark Financial Credit Union. That's right, TrueMark Financial Credit Union. See the credit union difference at TrueMarkFinancial.com. All right, let's do this. Let's take a quick respite. I don't know what's going to happen with legs. Maybe we'll try to get him tomorrow. I know he's having problems connecting. So let's do this. Let's take a quick timeout. We'll come right back, and we'll dive into the clubhouse, see what everybody's saying on the chat. I can only imagine how you guys feel because right now I'm completely beside myself. This is the Anthony Gargano Show. John Zapata, JP, VG, Violations Greg. That's Andrew, our fine producer. And, of course, Julia, our executive producer, Julia Hoff. All right, back in just a second.
Guys, I'm going to be honest with you. I am still in absolute shock. And I need you. I need the chat. I need Bree. I need everybody to help me kind of make sense of that final minute of the game.
Yeah.
And, you know, there are just so many things where I think like, man, I'm pretty sure I saw Jalen Brunson grab Tyrese Maxey's shirt, but also I saw Joel Embiid and Tobias Harris just stand there and let Hartenstein grab that rebound at the end. How on the scramble can they not like at least fan out the 3-point shooters and run them off the line? They just did so many things wrong, and I'm not sure they got help from the refs either. Devon, you were talking about it during the game. Kyle Lowry, 2 of 4 or 2 of 3 or 1 of 3 from the free throw line. Not good enough, man. Sorry,
2 of 4.
Sorry, it felt so long. Some of the plays to lead to the DiVincenzo the Brunson 3. Like DiVincenzo comes out of like a complete scrum with the ball. Like how does that happen?
Right.
How does that happen? How does Brunson? How does that ball go in? That wasn't Kawhi's shot, but.
Wow, I didn't even think of that.
Shades of the Kawhi
I
shot.
didn't even think of that.
Maybe the magnets came down from Toronto because, again, that was shades of the Kawhi shot.
Wow.
In the group chat, because I wanted to reference that in the group chat, you know, the friends, because this is one of those, the group chat is kind of going off today for Sixers fans out there, and I'm sure you guys in the chat are doing the same thing because I got the text already. Like someone said in my group chat, this is the worst Sixers loss of my lifetime. Now, it's not for most of us because, again, we remember several other painful games. But again, this is very reminiscent of that Toronto game, you know, with that Kawhi shot. But Rich, I just want to go back to something we talked about in pregame. Like, you know, we said that this wasn't quite a must-win game, you know, but, you know, given everything that happened and given the emotions of that game and given the way the Sixers gave that game away with 47 seconds left, that counts. To me, that's more than a single loss.
Totally.
That feels like more than 100%. A loss.
I'm going to be honest with you. I am.
All right, welcome back. Cousins Clubhouse. This is the days I miss phone calls and talking to everybody. We're gonna get those going soon, so that's gonna happen in the next week or two. Right after we gotta get through the draft. JP, VG, this is Greg. Good to see you. Give me the chat.
The chat. You know, I mean, everyone's fatalist out there for the most part. A lot of it. I'm trying not to stay too much with that. You know, well, I'll start off with Tony Wiley. Fired Nick Nurse. He's worse than Doc. Ray, 61% from 3 for Josh Hart is just totally wild. Your boy Ed Wright, I might give up on basketball.
Yeah.
Frank, the refs have nothing to do with your team being soft.
Yeah. Listen, Frank, you're right. I can't argue that, Frank. You're right about that.
Cuz going chapter and verse to start the show is awesome. Like nuns in Catholic school going Old Testament. You mentioned during that Rite Aid spot, I like the Benadryl. K-Red says Benadryl's a one-way ticket to unconsciousness.
And killing Cuz K-Red.
Yeah. Tim M out there, I think it was just what we needed. I think we can all agree. Trot always brings a smile to my face, and it's just a universal smile to all of us. We all could use a little trot today. It was a great day to bring them on.
Yeah, actually, it really was. It worked out in that sense. I mean,
just his laugh is infectious.
I got to tell you, man, I'm still not over it. It's one of those losses, and I said it to start, I guess, going chapter and verse, which is, you know, it's like acid, like it melts your insides. It melts your spirit, right? Listen, none of us, the fan base, is going to go up and have to gear up for Thursday night. They have to do it. They have to find kind of what's inside. Not to go all dramatic and everything else, but what Frank said's right. Like, the refs being soft has nothing to do with it. Like, you got to close that game out. You're up 5, should have been 6. You're up 5, and you lose. That's on you.
40 seconds left. I can't remember a more frustrating minute of basketball or any sport. The things that happened in that 40 seconds, it's just unbelievable.
Well, you know, before Brunson hits that 3, which doinks in, right, off the back of rotation.
Right.
Before that happens, it looks like that Lowry's got a steal.
Mm-hmm.
He's on the floor. It looks like he's got the ball.
I can't get past the first of all, Hartenstein's a complete hate to face guy all timer, right?
Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Come on, Frankenstein.
And on that rebound, Tobias is just standing there waiting for the ball to fall to him. And Hartenstein goes up and gets it. And that's something you teach in high school. Go get the ball. You can't be standing there waiting for it to fall to you. Not at the NBA level, not at any decent competitive level.
He lacks
any kind of oomph.
Yeah, like fearlessness, like we talk about. He lacks balls,
Just
just straight up balls, man. Like he just in those type of moments, he just disappears. Like I don't know if it's him just being in his head or he just doesn't know how to show up in those type of moments. But it's constantly in those big type of moments, whether it be a rebound, a simple layup, like simple things that we're asking here. He just doesn't do it. He then stares at Hartenstein. And like I know we want to kill Joel Embiid on that rebound, but like I know like he's a little bit limited with that knee.
He's got no legs.
Toby in that situation needs to realize that.
I understand that and I agree, but you know, he also scored 20 in the second half. Like,
but scoring's a little different than rebounding.
No, dude, I agree.
Game but 1 and 2, it's on my rebounds.
Somebody else has to also rebound.
It's Tobias. He's standing there watching it. He's just standing there. He's basically.
But Tobias was right though too. Hartenstein has that running start. Like he's crashing. Somebody's got to be able to put a body.
Yeah, I mean that's a solid point. Yeah, I know the final inbound play, the inbound play that everyone's talking about. Tobias on the weak side. He's just hanging out. Go to the ball. Give Lowry something to look at other than Maxey, who's double teamed.
Why does he need called timeout?
I don't know why it wasn't. As soon as the ball goes through the basket, I don't know why it's not a timeout.
Okay, so I'm with you. Like, you know, and I would have, to me, I don't want him to screw around on that side of the floor, right?
No.
Like it's underneath my basket. But all right, I understand Nurse's point, which is I get it into Maxey. Maxey's my best free throw shooter. A quick inbounds. But the minute the quick inbounds isn't there, Larry has to call timeout. Forget about Nurse calling timeout from the side and the official ignoring him. Lowry's got to call timeout.
100% agree. That is all on Lowry, and it's disappointing for a veteran.
And
like
I understand that Maxey was being held. Sorry, JP.
Yeah.
But
I
understand that, but that doesn't mean anything. Like you knew there was a lot of congestion. Why you can't risk the basketball a turnover. You can't risk it.
No, when you see Maxey struggling, zigzagging against a double team, you have to call the timeout at that point. And that is all on Lowry.
This is like the second time in 3 years we're talking about IQ and the final moments of a playoff basketball game. Like this is insane. Like why don't we get the smart basketball players? Like what the hell?
I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's, you know, I hear you on the IQ at times, but there's also a feel of lacking.
Here's a great tweet.
Tenacity and toughness.
That came out for you. You'll dig it. From Zanny, XANNY DeVito. The Sixers are just a highly funded social experiment to see how much pain a human being can endure. I don't know how their fans keep falling for it. That's what it feels like. Right?
That's me.
Yeah, it's all of us. Sign us up again. We're in it. We're in every year.
It does feel like a little bit that we are paying for the process. These losses are, you just can't.
Well, I talked about it being in, like, finding a way to lose. Like, they're inventive.
If we were in a writer's room, we couldn't come up with these. If the three of us were in a writer's room to find like ridiculous ways to lose.
Right, like it's Saul, right? Like Saul 6. This is Saul 76.
Yeah, they may have already made 76. You're
right, Saul 76, because they find some way to chop off your leg. Right, like that's what are you doing? To be like, dude, you can't lose like this. Like Kawhi, Ben Simmons, Boston last year with Harden. Oh my God. It's torture. It's enough for you to go, like, I got to go to Basketball Anonymous.
I mean, there's something up, right? This isn't normal. There's no other franchise that goes through this. Is it the sins we're paying for, Hinkie?
You guys cannot convince me. We're the Cleveland Browns of the NBA.
This predates Hinkie. This goes back long before JP was born. This goes back. This is the same freaking franchise that I fell in love with as a kid. We owe you one. All right. Now remember, That we owe you one. I'll tell you the story.
Yes,
goes
please.
back to 1977.
Okay.
The Sixers are up 2-0 on the Portland Trailblazers in the finals. Right? Julius Erving's year here, first year. George McGinnis, these like legendary names, right? They're playing the Portland Trailblazers. Bill Walton, all right?
Yeah.
These are the guys, right? So they're up 2-0. They lose 4 straight to Portland. Like what? Like they lost 4. And so afterwards, they come up with this campaign. We owe you one. All right?
No, they didn't.
Yes. So then they owe us another one in 78 when they lost to San Antonio. They lost to Washington in 79. They lost to the freaking Lakers when Magic jumped center as a rookie. No Kareem on a Friday night at the Spectrum in Game 6. They lost in 1981 when they blew a 3-1 lead to the Celtics.
This is not helping our cause.
All right.
Right now.
They lost in 82. All right.
I know about the 184.
All right. They lost in 82 when they blew a 3-1 lead, but then won, but then lost to the Lakers again. All right. So now they owe you 5. All right. Then they win in 83. So cross 1 off the board. Owe you 4. But in 84, they get swept by the putrid Nets.
Yeah.
So now they owe you 5 more. Now let's go to the modern day. Wait. Oh, then they screw up the whole franchise, by the way, by trading Moses Malone and the number 1 pick.
That was because the owner played a scrimmage game with someone. Was that?
No, that's Sean Bradley.
Oh,
No, actually, you're right. You're right. That was Doherty.
Doherty, right?
And he was soft. No, you're right. You're right about that.
Yeah, but we talk about
Right,
wasted
that was
beats.
Harold Katz, right?
We talk about
So
wasted
in 84, 85, 86, they blow up the franchise, all right? Now, these are my formative years as a child, right? So 86, all right. Then they trade Barkley, right? Which is another, stab in the heart.
They wasted his
right?
career.
Then they suck, and they draft Sean freaking Bradley, right? The biggest stiff in the history of big stiffs, right?
Oh, yeah.
The tallest stiff of the entire stiff.
How did he make Space Jam, by the
Right?
way?
Then Iverson's one more year, right? Iverson, we got 1 year basically. They can't figure out how to put stuff around Iverson, and they end the process. And then everything after the process has been torture. So, yes, whoever tweeted that is right.
They still owe us one.
Yeah, I think we do need a WNBA team.
Yeah. The minute we get WNBA
This is
team, I'm
ridiculous.
out on this.
I think I blocked
can't
a
do
lot
this
of that
anymore.
out. I don't remember how bad it is. Holy Nikes.
I've only dealt with like AI. I dealt with the 10 years of just like
Well, yeah, but
mediocre
guess what?
basketball.
You
That's
had
why
a-
he's all in a good mood and happy-go-lucky. He hasn't been through this.
No, but guess
I didn't
what?
go through any of the 80s.
Yeah, but
Early
you don't even
90s.
need that. What happened after the process is enough.
Yeah.
You've paid your dues.
Yeah, that was absolutely rough.
You paid your dues.
Someone in the chat did say, let's fire Colangelo again.
Amazing. Let's end the show on a feel good moment. Ranger Suarez, 7 innings, just 2 hits, unhittable, ERA down to 1.36. They go to a decent Cincinnati team and they smoke them 7-0. This team is on fire.
I was talking to Tyler a little earlier. Rangers Cy Young odds went from like 10,000 to 1 to 1,500 to 1 right now. And that still might be a good price to hop in on.
By the way, it's wide open in the National League East. By the way, you should probably take a shot at
any of the Phillies top 3.
Wheeler, right? And Nola, or actually Wheeler or Ranger. Is pretty good.
You want to hear the rotations ERAs right now?
Yeah.
So you got Wheels with a 230, Nola 316. You just mentioned Ranger 136, Christopher Sanchez 295, and then Spencer Turnbull at 123. They are wheeling and dealing. This is a great rotation right now.
Yeah, it's insane. The last 7 games, their ERA is 0.70, and that includes Turnbull and Sanchez. It makes no sense.
I know. It's
insane.
insane, man. It really is.
That's why I said, like, how can you put Walker in this rotation right now?
Can't.
You can't.
They're
They're
going to have to, right?
I
Turnbull's got his
would-
inning limitations they're worried about.
I know. I love Turnbull. I actually like him a lot.
Did you ever think you'd say that?
No.
I love Spencer
I
Turnbull.
know. But guess what? I feel great when he's on the mound.
Yeah. He had that one good year that seems to recapture that magic he had.
Dombrowski.
How about let's talk about role players? How about Cody Clemens pops up yesterday?
Yeah.
2 for 4, double, home run, 3 RBIs.
Bench Harper. I'm kidding.
I can't believe it. I can't believe the Sixers lost.
Can I say this with the Sixers?
That way.
Buddy,
Down, up 5.
Buddy Hield blows.
Yeah.
And that trade right now, they need a Marcus Morris on this team. They miss that energy. He'll get some rebounds. He'll bang some people around.
Yeah.
He might make a couple buckets, but they need that grit.
No,
that
you would
toughness.
have. You're right. If Marcus Morris is actually rebounding,
Yeah, for him instead of Hield in that rotation, I take that right now.
Just toughness and cojones.
I have to be honest with you. I thought I was getting something out of Oubre and something out of Hield, and I've got nothing.
Hield is just
Nothing. Yeah.
nothing.
No, I've
he
got
looks
nothing.
so overmatched in the playoffs.
Yeah. I've got nothing.
What about where you at with the Beverly trade?
Who do we get with Beverly?
Campaign.
Oh, why is Payne not playing?
He needs it.
I don't
He
understand
needs to
it.
play. I agree. The reason why he doesn't play him is defensive matchups with him and Maxey. You're really small.
Short.
So I get that. But right now, you need somebody who can score the ball a little bit, and he can do it.
He's rolling 3 deep on the bench in the rotation, and they're not giving you anything. You got to try something else at some point.
I agree. That little travel down memory lane with the Sixers
Brutal.
is our back of the day moment
Oh, you want
presented
more.
by Rite Aid. I need to go to Rite Aid right now because now I have a headache. All right. So luckily, I can find anything that ails me at Rite Aid. So check out Rite Aid
They
Farms.
have
Rite
anything
Aid.com.
over the counter for depression.
Dude, I think I might have to go grab a
You
steak.
need a gummy?
Cheesesteak. No, I know.
Oh, you need a cheesesteak?
Yeah.
Oh, man. You're a
cheesesteak
depressive
day.
eater?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I almost wish I was
better option.
apathetic at this point instead of being depressed because
I
I'm
know.
looking forward to another game.
I know.
It's like Stockholm
I know.
Syndrome.
Thursday, it's like, and here's the sick, twisted thing is the series isn't over. Like I can't just throw up my hands yet. I can't do it.
I mean, I'm with you.
I need to be completely killed.
It's gonna be crazy because we're gonna come here Monday and it's series gonna be tied.
I know. I was thinking that too, dude. I was thinking that too. It's why it's like I can't. I don't want to cheat myself out of what could be a spring, and I'm still going to say that the Knicks. I'm not that impressed.
Imagine if you had home
We're
court
still in
advantage.
on this.
I know.
And
We're
it's like-
still in. We're still in.
You know, but-
How sick is that?
Embiid, just the way he is after the game, just irritated the hell out of me last night too. Not lifting
like
his
that
head.
Actually, though, dude, he said we're going to win the series.
I know. That's
No,
fine. We're the
listen.
better team. You're down 0-2, bud. I mean, right
No,
now
but
you're not the
he
better
said
team.
they're gonna- listen, it's on him. Let him go deliver it.
All right, it's his Namath moment.
Yeah, man, he a beast, man. I believe. Come on, man.
I mean, he's giving it everything he's got. I just don't know how
Yes.
much that leg's got left.
All right. That's going to do it for us on that note. Stay tuned. We have a great lineup today. All PHLY, all your teams. You got to hang with us, man. You gotta subscribe to us, all of our podcasts. Do us a favor, like us, subscribe when you can to all the shows. We really try to cover Philadelphia sports and give you a good blanket and someone to connect with, too, with our community. So we appreciate you. We love you. We feel your pain. And have a great night. Go Phils. We'll see you in the morning.
We all silly like the mayor.